asked you, I guess, in the past, I mean, is this as tough of a test for a run defense as you're going to see all year? And obviously they've only heated up even more in their run game. So what challenge do they present?
Yeah, 2 elite runners, but I think also O-line and a tight end group and a receiver group that's tied together in that, and a quarterback that can get him into the right play, into a premium look. So they do a very good job with their design, and then the quality of the backs, I think, speaks for itself.
Brandon Broughton is like maybe the one rookie we haven't been able to really see just because of his injuries, but where do you kind of hope he goes from here? I don't know how he's doing his rehab, but just kind of ahead of next season. This is the last time we'll be
Well, he was a real bright spot for us in the draft. I know it's been a long time since you guys got to see him play, but if you go watch his snaps against San Fran, you will see the quality on the silent tape against the number 1 seed right now in the NFC. You guys know the respect I have for Kyle and that group offensively, and I think the way that Vernon played in that game should give us a lot of optimism about getting into the offseason and having a full offseason with him to pour into his game. So we're excited about coaching him.
And then he says, I realize you have 2 starters already with Warner and Davis, but has he developed to the point where you could see him being a starter in the future, or does his play now match starter level play?
Yeah, Matthew, I think he matches starter play right now. We feel very confident in him, and his play has reflected that. Our confidence in him in that way. And I thought last week was a good exposure for him at the end of the game when DeMario had to step out there, and Danny jumped right in and did what he does all the time in practice, which is show the command, show the poise. We needed it in that situation, is to show the poise to finish a 2-minute drill. And so his play has continued to improve.
How did y'all have to adjust communication when DeMario went out? How was that process?
Yeah, we had to call one play the high school way from the sideline. And then once that play was over, we were kind of able to switch the helmets and do it the NFL way. But felt like old times there for a second.
Is that what the timeout was for?
Yeah.
Also because we aren't going to be able to talk to you. Do you expect to be part of the coaching cycle this offseason, and is that something you would want?
Our focus right now is on Atlanta and what's in front of us, and just staying in the present. And that's been our mission the whole year, is to just work inside out. And that's what's going to be our plan here till we're finished. Veteran answer.
But again, you probably not going to answer this, but is being a head coach again someday a goal down the line? Or?
Definitely a dream of mine. It always has been. And with that said, I think I'm living a dream right now. I think being the Saints defensive coordinator is one of the top jobs in the NFL, and I'm very lucky to be here, and I love this franchise.
Drake didn't play in the last matchup. How does his skill set just add the challenges to that offense?
Yeah, lots of them. He does a great job at that position. I've got a ton of respect for how he plays the position because he's a very complete receiver. I think much like Nakua operates for the Rams, I think that's really, Drake has operated like that for them, and I think every year his NFL career he's improved. And I remember playing against him as a rookie when I was with the Chargers, and doing a lot of work on him in the draft. And then we played him his rookie year, and I just know he's wired the right way. He blocks as well as any receiver in the league that's a good player, a premium receiver. And then I think his route tree, he can run routes from the slot. He's a good outside receiver. They really go to him on the possession downs. He's a really good red zone target, and he had a lot of good red zone production for them before he got hurt. So, he's one of these up-and-coming guys in the league, and now that he's back, he just adds a huge dimension to their offense.
How much do you think Kirk has kind of added to, that they're really in a stride, and it kind of happened when he took over at quarterback? How much has that contributed to them figuring out some things?
Yeah, I think that's a good observation. I think his command and his experience really show up, and then just how fast he's playing. I think they're able to, offensively, there's no limits to what they can do structurally with him. And then his key diagnose of the defense, I think, gets him into the right play. And then post-snap, he's just seen so much. I think he's making really good decisions with the football, which is keeping them on track. And then he's doing such a good job of just distributing to the playmakers. And even with Drake out, I think just getting the ball to Pitts and getting the ball to the running backs, he's just spreading the ball around like good players do and just giving them a real chance to win every game. And he's playing very well. Thought he played a quality game the other night, just taking care of the ball, making the throws when he needed to. But again, it's just how they're operating with him. There's a lot of little things within the game plan that I think that he can do for them that really gives them, a chance to be successful.
From your perspective, like defensively, looking at offenses, like has the value of the run game cycled back a little bit, like over the last 4 or 5 years?
Nick, I believe so. I think coming from the college game, they defend a lot less runs, and the style of runs are completely different than the NFL. And so the way the rules are in the offseason and in training camp from a contact perspective, it challenges your fundamentals. It challenges your ability to fit these runs and then finish them. And then I think, with a lot younger quarterbacks coming in the league, I think people are trying to feature the run game to help, these young players at the position. And then I think what the best play callers do, and you can just name one, is they tie the run game to the pass game to make the whole offense harder to defend. But running the ball helps you in the takeaway margin because turnovers are really hard to come by on runs. They come a lot more on passes. So, I think you're seeing that element, and then just getting control of the game. The run game helps the O-line, helps the play caller, helps the quarterback, and then it forces the defense to do 2 things that passes don't, which is you have to defeat a block and you have to tackle on every run. That doesn't happen all the time on a pass. I think that it's definitely changed. There's definitely been a shift, and it's noticeable. And I think the top offenses in the league, if you just look at the top ones, they're operating in a real premium way in the run game. It may not exactly be the same style, but there definitely is the marriage of the run and the pass.
Some of this is a response to personnel packages the teams are running to, right?
Yeah.
One of your speed, smaller guys in the field, you can add that. But
Yeah.
13 personnel.
Yeah, you quiet it all down. Yeah, you calm it down, you quiet it down, you simplify things. And I think that there's definitely been that strategic element as well. Is just, you can clean the picture up a little bit more for the offense that way. But again, I think what you're seeing is just that the advantage of playing a complementary game when the defense can't always say it's a pass, giving them that indecision. John Fox told me the hardest thing for a defense is to know if it's a run or a pass. It may sound simple, but that's the hardest thing for us to do is to know if it's a run or a pass. So if you can do both, it's effective.
Did Chase Young add a reel to the teach tape, or you don't want people trying to just do that because it's so impossible to pull off?
Yeah, I'm not a part of the social media orbit. I wish there were more people in that orbit which would encourage him to be more ball secure. I wish that we could parachute him into our meetings. And so see how much we emphasize it so that they'll blame him if he fumbles, which they should. But, man, what a great play by him. I'm so happy for him. What a killer play by a player who's improving, and we needed that play in the game for us to win it. It was 13-3 at the time, and we were not in the fight yet. We were trying to get back in the fight, and that one got us back in the fight. And I'm really happy for him because it was a complimentary play. We had a really good coverage. Carl did a good job on the front side. He came on the back side, and he didn't just make a play. He made a big play. A sack would have just been a sack, but for him to go strip sack, take it, that's that next step, that we got to keep searching. And now we just got to have him do it in the run game.
How do you think the defense as a whole handled the play extension? Because I think Cam's time to throw or force tackles just obviously just extending. How do you think that?
Yeah, there were some times where we're in base defense and they've got like a 7 or 8 man protection versus 4, and there's going to be some extension. I thought what was significant is the play extension didn't hurt us in that game. I think that's a bigger story than how long he had to throw, is that the play extension didn't hurt us in that game. And so I felt like our guys did a good job putting a roof on the top shelf of the coverage. As you guys saw, he's a hell of a player. There's so much creativity in his game, and man, he's going to be a handful for the years to come. He made some throws there, even the one that didn't count. I mean, you talk about a highlight throw. So it's great. I mean, all the good players that we have to defend nowadays, they have that element, and he certainly challenged us the other day. And, I thought our guys, were up to the task, but he's a handful.
Did that extension take some time to figure out too? Because the disparity between the first half and the second half is limited to the explosives.
Yeah, our first half, Matthew, we just was Saints beating the Saints in the first half, and we needed to execute better, and from a communication standpoint and from a technique standpoint, and then in the second half we played our brand of football, and it tightened up for sure. But against players like that, you're going to have to make adjustments, and I thought that we did a good job of that. But hopefully we can avoid some of that need for the catch up moving forward.
Is this last game with Atlanta kind of like the ideal of the level of disruption you'd like from Matt Rule and from him in particular?
Yeah, Nick, I thought it was a tale of two halves. I really thought his second half for sure. I thought the second half, the quality was there. And he made a big difference in us winning that game. Even on Chase's play, he had a great block on that play, which was huge, that goes unnoticed. But when Alante's had the quality, we've been at our best for sure. And so he's provided us a lot of playmaking in the run game, in zone defense, and in man-to-man defense. And then you've seen the blitzing element too. So we're much better when he has that complete game. And I mean, he was very productive, especially in that second half.
You ever been a part of a team that has this many game balls?
As someone that has given them before, I'd tell Kellen, keep going, man. It's special to give them, especially when people earn them. And I think our guys have. And there have been some cool stories for our guys, like some of these offensive players that were off the radar who have a career game. You know what? They deserve a game ball. And so it's really cool. And anyone who's ever received one, whether you're a coach or a player, knows how special that is, that you have it forever. So my advice to Kellen is keep going and don't have anyone stop you.
Cam's made a few comments throughout this season that along the lines of Chase has finally kind of realized how important he can be to this team and what he has to do in order to achieve that. Is there anything that you've heard about him from your time in San Francisco or anything like that you've kind of seen something switch in him?
I just think experience. You guys have heard me talk about it with Chase. He's lived an NFL life. He's still so young, but he's been around. And so he's been through it. And I think now he's just in a comfort zone where he's just entering his prime. And fortunately for him, he's with a Hall of Fame player that he can truly look up to and learn from. When I was with Von Miller in Denver, one of the things that he told me that totally impacted and changed his career trajectory was being with DeMarcus Ware. Somebody that he could look to and see what it should look like, And, I saw the impact that Khalil Mack had on like a Leonard Floyd and a young Tuli Tuipulotu. And so when you get to, have a mentor like that, it's also going to help you. And then I think what Chase has done is he just knows who he is as a player, and then he's been willing to improve. He has not stayed the same. Who he came into this league as is a much different player than what's on the silent tape now. And that's what we've really been after, is once you become that best version of yourself on the silent tape, then you're going to get the production because you're too good of a player. And I think that's what he's experiencing now, is what it feels like, to do it the right way all the time, and, what his game truly looks like. And then I think that you've been able to see the quality on the tape.
Does Cam show that a little bit about the second sack being taken away from him? Or?
Man, I'll tell you, there's been some hot debate in the locker room, which has been fun. And man, I'm just, I'm happy that he knocked one of them down, but that second one will be highly contested for sure. Because, these are meaningful sacks, guys. But, just happy the way that he finished the game, played a really quality game against Tennessee, run and pass, was very consistent for us. And, his effort on that play that, he made the incredible play that didn't count. His effort is the reason why he got that sack.
So it's not silent tape when Cam's watching.
Yeah. And the good thing about Cam is he's got like the podcast, he's on TV, like he can go lobby, for it. He'll find his way to the finish line somehow.
We're pretty sure he has.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, it's important, guys. It's important to use your the power of the pulpit. So,
Thank you.
all right, guys. Happy.